This video may permanently change how you look at corporations and work. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Viewer discretion is advised.
I don't think humans suddenly became weaker. I think we built a world that became stronger than human biology. We've spent years blaming ourselves for burnout, but what if we've been asking the wrong question? For hundreds of thousands of years, we evolved to move, to hunt, to explore. Now we spend our lives sitting in a climate-controlled box, staring at glowing rectangles, answering notifications. Once you see what I'm about to show you, you're never going to look at work the same way again. All right, I know, what the right? What's with the monkey mask? I should probably explain. I spent almost a decade working in one of the big tech companies. So like good salary, good benefits, great career, everything I was told that I should want. But somewhere along the way, I completely lost myself. I was burnt out, constantly stressed, constantly thinking about work, checking emails, reading pings, sometimes even on weekends. And eventually I looked around my office at all these other zombies one day, and I realized I wasn't the only one. People around my desk looked exhausted. They just stopped laughing, they stopped sleeping. People started talking about things like therapy, nervous system regulation, dopamine detoxes, meditation, cortisol, as if we were all just somehow broken. So that's why I started this channel. This isn't a self-help channel. It isn't an anti-work channel. It's an investigative channel. I want to investigate the systems, incentives, and contradictions that quietly shape modern life. Because I don't think that we're asking the right questions. And this monkey mask here, well, there's actually a reason. Well, two reasons. First, humans evolved from monkeys. It's that simple. For hundreds of thousands of years, we hunted, we climbed, we moved, we rested, we lived outside. But now, we sit in this like climate-controlled box staring at a glowing rectangle, answering notifications, trying to convince our stakeholders that, we're necessary. And the second thing, people think that civilization replaced the jungle. But no, it didn't. The jungle just changed outfits. Back then, the alpha monkey controlled the food. But today, somebody controls your performance review. Back then, you feared getting kicked out of the tribe. But today, you fear getting laid off. Different jungle, same nervous system. And that's what nobody seems to be talking about. Everybody suddenly has anxiety, ADHD, they need therapy. Does that not sound a little weird to you? Because the thing is, I don't think that humans suddenly became necessarily weaker. I think we built this whole world around us that slowly became stronger than the human biology. And instead of asking what changed about the environment, we're asking what's wrong with me? Wrong question. So for the next few minutes, just for the rest of this video, let's stop blaming ourselves for a second. Let's step back. Let's investigate what's actually attacking our nervous system. So let's first break down what's our nervous system, no pun intended. Your nervous system is basically your body's command center. Your nervous system wasn't designed to make you successful. It wasn't designed to make you productive or climb the corporate ladder. It has one key job, and it is to keep you alive, and that's it. That's where I think modern life starts becoming really, really strange, because we're running software that's hundreds of thousands of years old, but inside an environment that's only a few decades old. And here's something that I absolutely feel like it should blow everybody's mind. Most people think your brain reacts to reality. It doesn't. It predicts reality. Neuroscientists call this thing predictive processing. Your brain is constantly making predictions about what's about to happen next. Is this safe? Is this dangerous? Should I prepare? Now think about work, layoffs, performance reviews. AI replacing jobs, your boss asking, can we have a quick chat? Notice something? Nothing bad has actually happened, but your brain starts preparing for it anyway. That's why uncertainty is so exhausting. You're not just dealing with today's stress. You're mentally rehearsing for tomorrow, which means your boss doesn't even have to fire you. Your brain already started rehearsing it. So interestingly, Uncertainty might actually be worse than certainty, because at least certainty lets your brain make a plan. Uncertainty keeps your nervous system waiting. We somehow built workplaces that manufacture uncertainty. A statistic genuinely shocked me the other day. The Microsoft Work Trend Index found that knowledge workers are interrupted roughly every 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes. Now, let's say, imagine somebody interrupting Christopher Nolan every 2 minutes when he was writing Interstellar. We call this sabotage, right? But at the office, we call it collaboration. And here's where we completely misunderstand burnout. Scientists have a term called allostatic load. It sounds complicated, but all you need to do is imagine you're holding a 5 kg dumbbell. 5 kg dumbbell sounds pretty easy, right? But now hold it for 12 hours. The weight never changed, but you did. That's allostatic load. It's the accumulative wear and tear on your body from adapting to chronic stress over time. Perhaps burnout isn't one terrible day, it's 5 years where your body never truly processed that the threat is over. A bad meeting probably won't burn you out, but 1,000 different ones might. Now, I love martial arts. There's something fascinating about it. If somebody swings at your face, you don't negotiate and say, hang on, please, let me regulate my nervous system. Your arms come up automatically, right? Block, protect, survive. That's your nervous system doing exactly what's evolved to do. But after a whole day of blocking punches at the office, we make it worse. We don't recover. Instead, we go home, we scroll, we compare. We consume and we keep feeding the same nervous system that was already overloaded. Your brain has something called the default mode network. This network becomes active when you're doing absolutely nothing. Walking, staring out the window, doing dishes. It's where your brain processes memories and connects ideas. It's where creativity quietly shows up. But we filled every moment with this phone in our palms. We became so uncomfortable with boredom that we accidentally eliminated one of the brain's greatest recovery systems. So we've just unraveled the mechanics of your nervous system. But now let's quickly zoom out. Here's the part where your nervous systems are colliding with another system that's optimized for something totally different. So your nervous system is now optimized for work productivity, career growth, corporate efficiency, quarterly earnings. Those aren't evil goals, but those are not human goals. They're goals created by capitalistic corporations to milk you and I for profits. So the other day I was reading this Business Insider piece about Amazon where their employees were describing life under layoffs, AI, and a 5-day return to office mandate. And there was a quote. So this quote said, RTO isn't the worst thing in the world. I've gotten used to it, but finding out they're tracking office hours was a gut punch. It feels infantilizing, like they don't trust us. That word isn't accidental. Think about what that actually means. You're an adult. You have proven that you can solve problems, lead projects, manage clients, make decisions worth millions of dollars, but now your office attendance is being tracked. Now, before someone in the comments say, well, companies have every right to ask employees to come back, that's not even the point that I'm making. What I'm asking is, what happens to the human brain when it constantly feels like it's being monitored or observed? Because there's decades of psychology showing that people change their behavior when they know that they're being watched. And that's what I find fascinating. We've created workplaces where trust is slowly being replaced by surveillance. When you have companies that track their employees' mouse movements, you can clearly see that they are inching towards a full surveillance mode. But monitoring doesn't just change behavior, it changes your nervous system. Your brain starts asking many questions, like, did my manager notice that I left at 5 p.m.? Should I send this email tonight so people know that I'm working? These questions don't produce better work, they produce hypervigilance and increase your employer's control over you and your nervous system. And then I came across another story, but this time it is in tech. It's from Standard Chartered. The CEO, Bill Winters, discussed AI replacing some lower value work and later apologized after describing some roles as lower value human capital. Lower value. People kept talking about the word lower value, but what interested me more was the words human capital. Think about that phrase, capital. People don't like to be called capital because people have families. We have feelings, we have mortgages, we have kids, we have dreams, health issues, good days, bad days. And I think this is where employees and companies sometimes completely miss each other. I don't think corporate CEOs wake up every morning trying to destroy people's nervous systems. They're doing exactly what they were built to do. Optimize, grow, increase efficiency, just like your nervous system is designed to protect you. The tragedy, though, is that these two objectives are starting to collide. And the question is, guess which one absorbs the cost? You. So if you've watched this far, you're probably thinking, great, so we're all screwed. But I don't think we are. I actually think understanding your nervous system and the game itself is one of the most empowering thing that you can do. I can't control how companies operate, neither can you, but I can control how much of myself I give away. So 3 quick principles. Principle 1, protect your attention. I think the biggest mistake people make is treating accessibility like professionalism. Somewhere along the way, being permanently available became confused with valuable. If everything gets immediate access to you, eventually you lose access to yourself. So the wise thing to do is, even if you feel like you're not making yourself overly available, if it would increase your chances of getting a PIP, what you should be asking is, when I do make myself available, how do I make it impactful? So that you earn the right to protect your own boundaries in peace. In other words, work much, much smarter, but not harder. Your attention is expensive, so start acting like it. If you tell me that, well, my boss doesn't really let me do that, what I can say is, you need to sneak in pockets of time to take a quick breather. As cliche as it sounds, some quick exercises, power naps in the hidden corner of your office, going down secretly for a quick walk, signing up for a good workout after work, whatever you need to do to manage your cortisol levels and get your mind right, do it. Your work calendar should not look like a game of Tetris. Okay, principle number 2, don't outsource your identity. I think one of the biggest lies corporate culture accidentally teaches us is that your job is who you are. You're an Amazonian, you're a banker, you're a consultant. No. Those are places you work, not who you are. Because the day your identity becomes your employee badge, someone else owns your self-worth, right? This is modern day legal slavery. You're not a job title. Principle 3, build options. Here's something I wish someone told me years ago. Every corporation has leverage over you. The more benefits, the more leverage. You start taking back power when you slowly build leverage over your own life. That doesn't mean quitting tomorrow. It means learning another skill. Start investing, build something, create, write, film, sell, teach. Do literally anything that reminds you your salary isn't your only source of income or even value. Because something interesting happens when your entire future depends on one company. Every email and ping feels like survival. That's why you feel so much tension in your nervous system. But when you have options, your nervous system finally exhales, and that changes everything. I don't think we're ever gonna go back to the jungle. It's just not happening. AI isn't disappearing. Notifications aren't disappearing. The goal isn't escaping reality. It's how not to lose yourself inside it. It's to teach your nervous system the difference between an email and a tiger chasing you. Now, before I end, I want to ask you to do one thing. Sounds very simple and even cliche, but please, just be nice to one person today. I'm serious. You have absolutely no idea what someone else's nervous system is carrying. I've snapped at people in the past. I've been impatient. I've said things that I'm not proud of, especially during periods where I was burnt out. So maybe that colleague who seems rude, is terrified of being laid off, as a sole breadwinner, maybe the cashier, the Uber driver, the stranger online is carrying a weight you'll never see. I think we'd all be better off if we just remembered that. So now you know, and once you know, you can unknow. If you want to see more investigations into the systems that quietly shape modern life, remember to hit the like and subscribe button, because we're just getting started here. So see you next time.